My friends, welcome to episode 126 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I'm the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony, the dev, at SummerSpeak on Twitter. We are a day late because I was basically dead last night with a cold, and I just couldn't even get out of bed. So Anthony graciously delayed a night, and then we are here tonight to talk about RPGs, Chrono Trigger, and probably Breath of the Wild.
How could you guess? How could you guess about that?
How's your week been?
Weekend was great. Pretty good house stuff always. Our garage door opener decided to stop working.
Oh, cool.
That was fun. Yeah. It stopped working while it was up, so that was useful. So I spent Sunday watching YouTube videos, tinkering with it, and getting everything working. It wasn't hard. It's just one of those things of owning a house and things go wrong. And you're like, well, crap. Thank you for YouTube. Oh my God.
You're a better human than I am, because if that happened to us, or when it did happen to us, I just called someone and said, fix this thing.
I don't want to spend that money.
Yeah, you're smart.
I was so happy to have the fact that I'm going to have at least we're saving money recently again, and it's all good. And I'm I do not want to spend a couple $100 to get this fixed or replaced.
Yeah, right.
I'm at least going to give it a shot. Can I fix the thing?
Right. Guess it worked.
It did work. And living on an island, it's not I have a lot of people to call. So.
That's true.
It's much easier if I just try it myself first.
Next time the garage door opener breaks, you'll just have to sell the house and move, because...
There you go.
Yeah, that just seems like an easier solution.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah. So this week we're going to talk about, I guess it's been a slow news week, so we're going to talk about why we like RPGs, or why we love RPGs, what draws us to that genre. And then we're going to talk about our first stop on the Chrono Trigger train. We're both playing through Chrono Trigger, both replaying parts that we've already played, even though we both have not beat the game yet. And then we'll talk about what we're playing. So just the whole question about why RPGs came to my mind this week playing Chrono Trigger, because it just feels like exactly the game that I want to play right now. Just this pretty interesting story that gets going right away, and just draws you into what the F is going on here,
Yeah. I kind of felt... So I've been holding off because we're supposed to talk about it, but I really just want to keep playing, and I can't.
Me too. Yeah.
But I don't want to jet ahead
right.
super far.
It's hard to put it down, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's one of the reasons why it's probably put up there as one of the better RPGs ever made, and especially of the 16-bit era. And it does. It just grabs you from the get-go. But in general, bringing it back to liking RPGs, I would probably say RPGs would be my favorite genre of video game.
Yeah.
I think.
And is there
ever now?
So if you think about the top 5 games of all time for you, are they all RPGs?
They all have RPG elements, even if they're not considered straight RPGs, or they're a blending of genres. I guess the closest thing would be System Shock 2 is in there, but it's still an RPG. You gain experience, you get stats and everything, but it is still an FPS more. It's that weird... it's the precursor to BioShock, so... But where BioShock trended more to the action side, System Shock 2 trends more to the RPG side. But beyond that, I think my top 5... Yeah, I guess they're all RPG... Yeah, no, they're all just different types of RPG. Clearly, I like that level of... not even story, mechanically, just the thought of things growing and changing over time as you play.
And you like tinkering with things. So
yes.
Tinkering with stats and equipment and things like that.
Yeah. Because you put Final Fantasy Tactics up there. It's an RPG, but it's a tactical thing. But I like it a lot more than I necessarily like XCOM. Mm-hmm. Both tactical, but it's the fact that I can sit with Final Fantasy Tactics and I can spend all this time tinkering with my dudes.
Is Tactics in your top 5?
Yes.
Is there another Final Fantasy in your top 5?
12, maybe. Mm-hmm. I have to rethink my top 5 right now, because a new edition has made its way in there.
Right. The game that you're currently playing?
Yes. That's for certain. So I don't know what it bumps around. Because then we also talk like Diablo 2 is in there, probably. Right. Or is it? Or is it in top 10 now? I don't know. But again, a different take of RPG.
Yeah, it's a pretty broad umbrella, right? You have like ARPGs, SRPGs. I don't think tactical RPGs are TRPGs, right? CRPGs. There's so much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a breadth to the genre now. It's expanded far more than like whenever we're playing Chrono Trigger back in the Super Nintendo day. An RPG was an RPG. Like there wasn't a this huge wide breadth of RPGs and RPG elements going to all genres.
And it was specifically JRPG and CRPG back then, right?
Yeah, those were the pretty heavy. Yeah. I mean, if you're on console, it was JRPG almost exclusively. A few things made it onto Nintendo and Super Nintendo time frames that were more Western. But I mean, if you went on CRPG and computer stuff, I mean, that's where you got the original Elder Scrolls, the
Baldur's Gate,
Ultima series, Baldur's Gate. Yeah. You got that more D&D inspired RPGs.
Right. Yeah, for me, the RPGs I feel like are maybe the games that have the deepest story for me. Things like The Witcher or just The Witcher's in my head right now. Mass Effect, The Witcher, Dragon Age. I feel like that's the genre that is allowed to take, quote unquote, allowed to take a lot more time, and just kind of assume that the gamer wants to take more time exploring. Like, they'll leave letters or books or whatever in the world, terminals to read different things.
It's true.
And you think about the Codex in Dragon Age Inquisition?
Yeah.
You could, that was like a 200,000 word novel. You could just spend days reading just the Codex in that game.
Yeah, I have no clue how many people spent their time writing that thing, but entries for everything. Yeah. It's just, I think that's probably what you'd point to as like maybe a bit overdone, but it speaks to the idea that the gamers who are playing that genre want just to get immersed. And it's something that I don't find in any other genre, really. Like, first person shooter, obviously not, platformer, not really. Although I hear Celeste has an interesting story. It's just the story that hooks you. And then specifically for me, like the strategy RPGs, add some sort of like confinement almost. Like you can do certain things, and then you have these certain skills, and the enemy has these certain things they can do, and you basically have to make the best of the limited stuff that you have. And I find that appealing. Yeah. And then specifically with JRPGs, I've always had a hard time getting into them because the intro, I guess, always seems so slow. Yes. And Chrono Trigger is just the absolute opposite of that, which is great. I would say that the slow intro thing is more of a modern problem as they've added more and got bigger. I've actually was thinking this a lot more because Chrono Trigger, I played some Final Fantasy 3/6 through the SNES Classic. They get going very fast, but I would also say that their stories are presented in a much simpler fashion. Yeah. And it's weird. Like, you think of RPGs and the stories of the 8-bit and 16-bit era and just games back then. I don't know if it was the time, but the stories themselves were treated a little bit less serious in some ways. Right. It was the part of the development that maybe had less time spent on it. Like less time, but like you look at Chrono Trigger, like the dude's named Chrono. At the beginning, like they're like, fine, we'll tie that in. And you're a teenager and you're going to this like fair at the beginning. Honestly, it has a bunch of childish jokes going on. Mm-hmm. It's not trying to be this. I can't imagine them trying to make that game now for audiences now. Like, it would want to be serious at the start. Right. Look at all the Final Fantasies, the recent Final Fantasies, modern ones. They're all very serious at the openings and starts. They don't really devolve into that level of like childish wonder almost. Well, that's a great point, especially considering Final Fantasy 15, where the four bros basically could have had that kind of just fun, like the road trip before the wedding, but instead it's just this heavy, oppressive, dark story. Yeah. And I just don't know if that's just a change as people have gotten... The people that were playing these JRPGs back when we are now older and feeling like they want more mature storylines. It's not like Chrono Trigger, like I've played enough of it, it does have a mature storyline. It's just presented with some levity to it.
Right.
Most of the older Final Fantasies are, and even 7 kind of. 8 is serious. Also a romance, which is nice change. And the 9 has some of that levity again, but then it just goes darker, and that's what you get out of JRPG land so much. Unless there's certain offbeat ones that come out over here. But Western stuff, like, has gone also that more oppressive route. Like, Skyrim is not a pretty nice world. None of the Fallout worlds are that nice.
Fallout sticks out to me in that regard.
They've gone a little bit more to the, I guess, the grimdark side of fantasy. Witcher, definitely. Like, it has some tongue-in-cheek jokes there, but typically not done in a way of, like, pure comedy. More in a, like, wow, that was really dark and ironic and kind of funny because of it.
Yeah, I think they didn't get into, like, the kind of funny comedy part until that final DLC into Salt, where they're trying to kind of poke fun at the whole chivalrous knight thing. But even then, it couldn't get out from under the shadow of just how serious that fucking game is. Yeah.
But, I mean, it also goes to show, is there an audience for that really anymore? I guess Persona series does. Like, 5 is dark, but it has some really odd humor and funny stuff that happens.
Yeah, it definitely, for me so far, is kind of a weird mishmash of that, where it's just like, I'm getting some definite, like, pedophile vibes going on, but also, like, we're just joking around and trying to figure out how to get to school and whatever. And it's just like, wow, this is a weird juxtaposition.
It is a juxtaposition because they're like, well, these are still high school students. Yeah. They have their high school lives to go through, and they're just being thrown into super heavy pedo land, basically. Here, let's see how they deal with it. So it's been very interesting trying to think about the differences that RPGs are presented now as opposed to when we were teenagers and earlier.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if they're trying to, like, layer more things on top to make it more complex, and part of that is, like, I think the easiest thing to change is maybe the story to make it more complex. Looking at things like The Witcher, Dragon Age, or Mass Effect, where there are multiple endings, multiple choices. Same thing with Chrono Trigger. And then maybe that just gets extended to other parts too, just making layer after layer after layer, and just kind of, I don't know, gets further and further away from that pure, just fun that the 16-bit era brought. Like a game like Secret of Mana, for example, was just fun. I don't know. It was just, it wasn't, I didn't find it to be dark.
No, I mean, they didn't really want to be dark at that age, of that time. Earthbound's insanely, like,
good example.
Full of puns, full of just absurdity. And yet it's a really good game. Like, that doesn't stop it from having impact and being meaningful and having something to say with their story.
Well, I think a game like Costume Quest or Costume Quest 2 are RPGs that are trying to be frivolous, but still are taken seriously as good games. So, definitely not Diablo 3.
No. Weirdly, no. Like a lot of the action RPGs have all gone into that very dark place. But I mean, I feel like that's just honestly the shadow of Diablo there. Like,
well, and think about that whole kerfuffle when before Diablo 3 came out, that it was like more colorful, like there were more purples, more rainbow colors or whatever, and people were just like, "What the fuck is this? We want dark." So,
when it comes to an RPG, we talk about all the story, but there are still plenty of RPGs where I'm like, the story is okay, but I play them for the mechanics as well. I think that's part of... I don't typically want a bad story. I have a hard time... I want to be invested, but the mechanics of RPGs can really draw me and push me through a game as well. Because there are... Typically in RPGs, there's so many of that mixing and matching of systems. So I can find something interesting to do or create my own goal of, I'm going to get the Knights of the Round, or breed the golden chocobo, or get all the triple triad cards, stupid things like that. But it keeps me playing the game.
What's an RPG that you can think of that has mechanics that kept you going forward, but had kind of a mediocre story that doesn't include the words Final Fantasy?
What was the last one that I've really, on top of my head? Diablos.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest. Like, they don't have that great of a story. They have a cool world if you read the books and stuff. But if you just took what was presented to you in the game,
it's pretty bad.
It's not great. It's pretty basic. Yeah. It's just the story is serviceable.
Well, especially like Diablo 3, where you're like, I bet you Leah is going to be, spoilers here, I guess, guys, going to be Diablo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, they kind of hit that one on the head pretty. Yeah. They're like, get the symbolism, guys?
Yeah.
Get our foreshadowing? I'm like, yes, I get your foreshadowing.
Yeah, you really hammered it in there, guys.
There was not subtlety used in that one.
I think you're right in terms of RPGs, from my experience, have experimented more with mechanics. Like, there's so many different ways to present, like turn-based or action-based combat, or like the strategy, or using cover, or using terrain, in almost like a board game fashion for some of those, like tactics, or Fire Emblem even.
Yep.
It just makes you think more. It makes me think more than pretty much any other genre. And there are some times where I'm just in the mood for like a engaging puzzle that's not like a traditional puzzle, but like this battlefield where you have to kind of traverse it in the right way, or else you're just kind of fucked. Like XCOM, but not as
oppressive,
punishing. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, Fire Emblem's a great example. Would you call any of the Fire Emblem stories amazing?
No.
Exactly, but why do you keep playing them?
Yeah, I just love the strategy part of it.
Exactly, and the characters are fun. Like that's like it's not for the overall story. Again, story is serviceable in them.
It is
to get you from battle to battle, but the battles are engaging. Like there's a puzzle to solve there that you have room to solve it the way you want to solve it if it's done well.
Right. Man, I can't wait to hear about Fire Emblem this year.
That's true. E3, hopefully.
So speaking of this year, so I assume it's a fall game, so we'll see. Which kind of leads me into my next question. Kind of thinking backwards and thinking forwards, just RPGs that bubble up to like just the, no list or rank or anything like that, but games you've played that just you love to go back to, and then RPGs that are coming up, let's say in the next year or two, that you know that you want to play day one.
Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
They said there's supposedly a new trailer. They're going to be showing stuff at E3.
Yeah.
That's super excited. And this is going to be super dark and violent. I know, but it's Cyberpunk. That's part of it. That's, as someone brought out, like, if your Cyberpunk is actually, like, showing utopian and, like, people happy with, like, the corporate overlords and everything, it's missing the punk part. So, So I'm really looking forward to that one, and that will be day one. I'm hoping if they're going to show it at E3 within the next 2 years, would be my guess. Maybe it will come out in 2020. It would be fitting since the actual role-playing game, the most popular version of it is Cyberpunk 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basing it off that, but just moving it to 2077 because anything done in the 90s that put the 2000s as this crazy cyberpunk area, and we've hit that time frame, kind of makes it hard to believe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, 2020, all these different things happen, like no less than 2 years from now.
Yeah. So that one's day one. What other RPGs are really day one for me? Octopath Traveler. I'll get that one. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of ones that are coming for the Switch that I'm like, yeah, I really want that. I'm sure I'm missing some. I can't think of any more right now.
Yeah. And then RPGs from the past that you just love replaying.
Final Fantasy 12. Oh, wait, not with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, shit, huh? Well, this one you can say Final Fantasy. That was just that last question.
Well, Final Fantasy 12, I've replayed that one numerous times. I've partially replayed 7 multiple times, but I've only beat it once. I go back to Final Fantasy Tactics all the time.
What's the best version of that? Is it War of the Lions?
War of the Lions. Yeah, easily. Okay. I'm actually just waiting for them to do a War of the Lions port for just straight PS4.
Mm-hmm.
it seems like a no-brainer. Because everyone talks the best way to play it is War of the Lions on the Vita. And it's kind of hard to really get anymore, or it's just not around. Like, I was in Target the other day. I don't think they even sell Vitas anymore.
I think you gotta use one on Amazon, pretty much.
Yeah.
I have that for my Vita, and it's one that's on my list to go play.
It is the best version of the game. Trying to think of other old ones that I revisit. I mean, if you consider Zelda's RPGs.
Yeah, I do.
Link to the Past. I go back and play. I've played that multiple times. I've replayed, when I mentioned it, System Shock 2. I've replayed that every few years if I can get it to... Oh, actually, it's on GOG and Steam. They got it all. So it works on all modern computers. So I'll replay that every once in a while. Let's just list all the I've replayed the Mass Effect trilogy with at least... I played it through the entire trilogy through twice. I've replayed 2 through 4 times.
And 2, I mean, so 1, I think arguably 1 is the one that's like more RPG, right? And 2, they kind of dialed it back a little bit.
They dialed it back in the... yeah, they just got rid of the inventory more than anything. They're just like, don't... And honestly, 1's inventory system was terrible. It was
not great.
And then 3, they found that... I think they found a good balance of the 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, they focused more on the action part of it. But I still felt like I had good choices to make, and they made the classes feel really different in 2. But yeah, 2 is the one that I can play over and over and over. Yeah. But I think it's also the one first one that was really cinematic.
Just that opening was just so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a movie. It was just so engaging. And also, like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
Just drew me right in.
I think those are the main ones that I play over and over so far.
Yeah. For me, I haven't really played too many games over and over again. I think this year will be the first time that I've played Secret of Mana over again. I'm hoping to play the HD version.
Nice.
But obviously, Mass Effect 2, Witcher 3, and Breath of the Wild are 3 games that I want to replay.
Yeah, technically I'm playing Breath of the Wild again now.
Yeah, exactly. So. You're replaying it now. In terms of games that are coming up that I'm excited about, one is Cyberpunk, just because I don't really care about Cyberpunk setting, obviously. You're way into it, and I just, it's like whatever for me. I've read Cyberpunk stories that I find interesting, but it's not the setting for me. But after The Witcher 3, anything CD Projekt Red does is day one for me. And then one, just because I'm not buying games right now, and it's like a month and a half now that I haven't bought a game, which is just amazing, is the one that comes out tomorrow, actually, and it's Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I just saw about this thing. What is this game?
So it was Kickstarted a couple years ago, and it's set in Bohemia, which is modern-day Czech Republic, and their idea was to create a medieval RPG that was, like, realistic. So they hired a historian to kind of just go through everything and say, like, is this realistic or not? Like, realistic combat, realistic world. It's just an open-ended RPG with branching story, quests, things like that. Kind of like Witcher 3, with more of like a first-person battle mechanic. And it's basically wanting to present what being like a knight or a peasant or whatever in Bohemia was in the 1400s, but also making it fun. So, I mean, the graphics look amazing. Just the detail. Think of what it seems like to me is like Assassin's Creed level of detail.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested in reviews. Something I read from IGN today was that they basically gave them codes today, and they're like, "Well, we're not going to have a review for a 60-hour RPG by tomorrow." So I think reviews will come trickling out next week.
I'm very curious. There's parts of me that, like, whenever you say all that and the fact that it's this Kickstarted thing, I'm like, all right, it looks good. It's presenting well, but is it actually good? There's a lot here where I'm like, oh, this could be terrible or janky as fuck.
And there are tons of people online that are saying the same thing, and I agree. Like, this could be
there's just as a developer, there's just skepticism from me. Like, I want them to stick the landing, and I want more amazing games. So don't take this as me like anyone there going like, oh, I hope they fail. Not at all. I want this to be very good. It's just when you put all these things together, I'm like, it just makes me step back a little bit and go, let's wait and see. Yeah. Because this is ambitious. This is super ambitious. And I don't really know a lot about this team or what they've done or how long they've been working on it. And these are expensive problems that they're talking about solving. So...
Well, and they've got an interesting thing happening right now where the game on disk is 23 gigs and the first day download update is 23 gigs. So you're basically doubling the size of the game in the first day. Whoa. So people who go out to the store to buy the game are like, I have to download 23 gigs to play this game? That's, not everyone has great internet. So we'll see. This is the one that I'm most curious about, at least this month, about what we're going to see. And then other than that, obviously, it's Fire Emblem.
Oh, we got a video of one thing that I am actually interested in, which my wife will probably get it and want to play it. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh god,
she loves the Kingdom Hearts games. Yeah, or at least she's played through the first two, I believe, in Japanese.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, all right. I mean, they came out when she was in Japan. Yeah, but 3. I mean, they just throw it off the trailer, and we get. Monsters Inc. World, Toy Story World. Mm-hmm. They showed Rapunzel and Flynn, who my kids will love.
Flynn.
Flynn is the main, is the hero of Tangled. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the reinterpretation of the Rapunzel story, which is a really good movie. Actually, it's probably. It was overshadowed by Frozen, because I think Frozen was the next movie that Disney did.
I thought Brave was after Tangled.
Brave was Pixar.
Oh, yeah.
Tangled is Disney Animation Studios. So
Got it. Yeah.
I think Frozen was the thing they did after. And yeah, that just completely overshadowed Tangled, which was the start of this much better era of Disney film, now that we're talking about that. And because I've watched them all many times because my kids watch them many times. Yeah, anything else that you're really like, get that day one?
No, if there's one, it's Fire Emblem for this year, because I know Cyberpunk's not happening this year, and Kingdom Come I'm going to wait for reviews, and obviously I'm not going to buy anything till November. Although Celeste is just itching. I've just been watching hours of Let's Plays of that game and started playing Super Meat Boy again just to stop myself from buying that fucking game. God, it's so good. And you and my friend, I sent you both that video, and you guys are both like, looks cool, but that's not for me.
No, I've seen enough videos of that game to know that is my rage-inducing game. There's reasons why I don't. Yeah, there's reasons why I don't play these type of games.
Yeah, smart man. So why don't we get into Chrono Trigger? It's the first. What we're trying to do is basically play 2 hours a week. That's my limit. Is basically. Yeah. So it's kind of you going through and playing and seeing where you get after about 2 hours, and then I'm trying to catch up to you, basically. That's kind of what's in my mind.
Or we could swap around. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. So basically 2 hours took us to just past the trial where we got to the future.
Yes. I guess we should say spoilers for this game that came out in 95, 96.
Yeah, I think it was 96.
So spoilers. So we just went through another portal into the future. Have you ever played past this point?
No, I've only ever gotten to the future. Like, I've gotten to the future and have never done anything in the future. So I did a little bit of stuff in the future this time, just to see what it was like. But yeah, I played all the way through the trial 5 times, and I just stopped after that for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like it's like the end of chapter 1, basically. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's a place where you just put it down and you're like, and if you never come back to it, you come back to it and be like, what just happened? I have no clue what's going on. Which I kind of feel like that is a problem with Chrono Trigger and RPGs in general. But I know from my level 50 playthrough, that's other save file that's sitting there, I'm like, I have no clue what I was doing and what I've done.
Yeah. That's funny, like a whole 20 hours of your life that you're just like, what did I do?
Yeah, I have vague memories of different things that I've done in it. Because there's a point where the game becomes a little bit less linear. and you can just do different things in your order that you want to do them. And so I'm like, I don't remember what I actually did. It's cool. We'll probably get to that point this week, I bet.
Okay.
It's early. It's like the big kind of reveal of the rest of the game. Like, oh, this is what the game's about.
Right.
But all right, getting to the future. So I think we both agree that the game just goes from the start.
Yeah, just like absolutely grabs you.
You can. How much did you explore the fair? Did you kind of just go through it, or did you take time to talk with people, click on different things?
I would say that I explored probably half of it. Like I did the race. I kept doing the race until I won the race. I went over to the tent on the right side, and it was, I forget exactly what you do. You trading coins for something. It was like that weird green face thing. I talked to a couple people. I rescued someone's cat. I didn't eat the food at the table. I didn't steal the food from the people who were sitting there.
Better than me.
Oh, did you?
I didn't mean to. I just was like clicking around because that's what I do in JRPGs. And then I'm like, oh, oops. I don't think I want to do that. But
and then they come back into the trial, right?
Yeah, in the trial and say, you took this food. Although I was found not guilty in the trial.
Yeah, me too. By
Except
one.
Then it doesn't matter. Yeah, by one.
Well, I forgot that I wasn't supposed to take Marl's pendant first. I was supposed to check on her first, but I ran over and grabbed the pendant to give back to her. Whoops.
Yeah. It does grab you. There was definitely sometimes, like, it's still old school, so you get dropped. You go through the fair, and Marl gets ported to the past. You get ported to the past after her. And that's definitely a point I remember being like, oh yeah, what do I do here? Because you get out to the world map in the past, and there's no real guide. They're just like, explore. Go find things. Things will happen.
Well, you talk to someone or you find a letter or something that says, like, the cathedral in the west, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I should probably go over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's hints of where you're supposed to go. But I remember going to the cathedral, and you talk to them in there, and then at the end of each of the conversations to, like, the priestesses in there, they make, like, a laugh or something. Like a hee-hee-hee, and you're like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of hints in the game for where you to go, if you're paying attention.
Exactly. Right? Which I appreciated because... Yeah. Well, I think it's also because I played through it so many times. Like, I knew where to go and what to do. But I think it was easy for me from the start because the hints were pretty, not super obvious, but if you're paying attention, you know what to do. Yeah,
they're like, oh, they will lead you in the right way.
Right.
So what, you go back, Marl, people haven't played, Marl she is thought to be the missing queen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you talk to her and she's like this queen, and then she disappears because now time's out of whack because the queen actually did get abducted, and now that Marl's there and they think that she's the queen,
the queen didn't get saved.
The queen did. Marl's never born.
Exactly.
Which you get your first time travel craziness going on.
Right.
And then you meet Frog. You go to the cathedral and meet.
I love Frog. Frog
rules, and you named him something special.
I named him Kermit because that's how funny I am. I left Chrono and I left Luca. I left their names, but I changed Frog because I thought I wanted to just change Frog. I wanted something.
Yes. I'm trying to remember. We haven't met my favorite character yet. Or at least the storyline that I really like the most, because I have a painting of it on my wall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Painted by a PopCap artist. I bought it years and years and years ago.
At an auction? Or
there was an art show where a bunch of PopCap artists just put up made their own pieces for an art show at the local bar and put stuff up there. And when they had the opening night, I bought one of the pieces.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's been sitting on my wall, and it's from Chrono Trigger. It's the artist's favorite game. So I won't ruin who the character is now. I think we'll see the character either this week or next week.
Okay.
Not sure exactly. I can't remember exactly how the character shows up. This is the problem with not playing the game for like a decade.
Right.
So yeah, you find that cult in the past with Frog's help, and you return the queen and get back to the future. And of course, Marl is the princess of modern day, and you of course, nothing can go well for Chrono.
Right. They the chancellor's basically ordering him to be arrested and secretly wants him to be executed, and the princess is trying to say no, don't do that, and no one's listening to her.
Of course
so
not.
I guess when you go to prison, you have two choices. You could just wait it out until execution day, or you could try to sneak out, which is what I did.
I snuck out. You knock on the bars enough, and then you can sneak out.
Right.
But because sneaking out allows you to,
get a lot of gold.
Yeah, get a lot of gold and items and all sorts of other things.
Yeah. Have you ever done the other one where you waited it out?
No, I don't think I ever have.
I wonder what happens if you do that. I think
probably nothing. I think you still have to fight the same dragon tank.
Yeah, you do. But I think what I read was that Luca rescues you at the last second from the execution, and then you run away and fight the dragon tank, basically.
Did the dragon tank give you any problems?
No.
Okay.
And also, there's like a book or the secret instructions in the cell that was like, the head regenerates everything. Like, okay, well, I gotta go for the head.
Yep, just go for the head first.
Yeah, I did once just because I mismanaged my time. I guess the thing I want to ask you was, in the options, you can choose two different fight styles, basically like turn-based or, I don't know, action-based?
Yeah.
Real-time or whatever.
I chose the one that waits but it's not wait all the time because texts matter about things being ready. Mm-hmm. So if you're just sitting on a menu, everything still runs. You have to actually be in like item selection, text selection.
Okay.
Because the actual combat system requires sometimes you'll want to wait for another party member to be ready at the same time
to do a combo or whatever.
To do a combo. Like that's so it's the trade-off. But if you're like searching through which tech to attack with or which item to use, I have it pause while I'm doing that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, because I chose the same one, but I felt like it wasn't pausing, so I'm just like going as quickly as possible.
You still not unfortunately, the game doesn't have a pure pause. It just that's not its combat.
Right.
It's still somewhat active time battle stuff.
That's where I was going. Active time battle. That's what I was looking for.
Position really matters, though. Actually, in it.
In terms of where you are on the battlefield?
And like where you are on the battlefield. Because you'll notice like the range units, if they try to attack something close, they'll just go and hit it with their weapon as opposed to shooting, which shooting is better for them because they get higher crit chances and things.
But you don't get a chance to choose that, right? It's just automatically randomly assigned when you start the battle?
You don't, but you do have a choice on which enemies you kill first to potentially free up your ranged thing or work in ways to like clump them together for other techs, do things like that. Like
that's why Marl's smacking people with a crossbow.
Yes. If there's people close to Marl or Luca, kill them first.
Yes.
And it opens them up to being able to do much better attacks.
Thank you. That's a good tip.
So, I mean, that's the kind of the thing with the combat system that I somewhat enjoy is that there's a subtlety to the tactics of it. It's not out there. You just start learning. You're like, oh, I get it. Okay.
Well, and I didn't have a chance to even like think through that because I just felt like it wasn't pausing enough for me to even like get a chance to think through that.
It's true.
Just going as quickly as possible, which kind of sucked. But now that I was hoping to talk to you this week about that so that I can better understand it, and that's definitely helped me.
I did like this game in the fact that this was one of the first ones that did the you don't cut to a different battle screen.
Yeah, right.
Battles just take place on the map. I think this was one of the first ones that did that. I mean, Secret of Mana did. But that was a much more action game. Like, nothing paused.
That's right. It was just, you hit the button and then you just hit attack. Yeah. Actually, what I read about Chrono Trigger is that it was the first one where it allowed you to either choose to engage in those kind of random battles or to skip them altogether by just walking past the enemies.
Yeah.
Or those damn rats taking your potions.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, my God. Those are so annoying. But yeah, this is a game that I've just been told forever. Like this, same thing with Mass Effect. Like you just have to play this game, and I have never got around to getting through it. So I'm glad we're doing this because I'm way in. I beat the game that I was playing this week, so this is the game I'm going to focus on. Yeah, I really want to focus on it, and who knows, I might be playing it in bed tonight. So yeah. Not me. I'll be sleeping, but yeah, you should sleep. It's been a rough couple of nights with cold and leap and sleep regression and oh boy. Yep. Always. It all hits at the same time and you're like,
And it's miserable, but you know that you'll get through it. Everyone will get through it, and everyone will be happy on the other side.
That's what we're hoping
Until
for.
it happens again.
Yeah, exactly. Oof. So in addition to Chrono Trigger, anything else you've been playing this week that you want to talk about?
I mean, Breath of the Wild. Let's be honest. I've been playing a lot with my kids watching, so I have the entire map uncovered now. I've done all the towers. That happened tonight. And I have a bunch of shrines. I have the Master Sword. I think I got that last time. I'm trying to think. I finished another Divine Beast, Zora, Rudo. I think I'll do the desert now.
Finally time to go into the desert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing shrine. I'm just exploring, honestly. There's just a ton of stuff in that game where it's like, oh, I never explored this area that well. Let's go in and explore. There's always something to find. I'm doing a lot more of the shrine quests. And the ones that I didn't see from previous times.
Right.
So that's been fun. And then the other thing I've been playing a ton of, I played so much Hearthstone, the dungeon runs.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a great way because I have I want to unlock all the basic cards for all the other classes I haven't. So I'm just running them, doing dungeon runs as all the other basic, all the other classes to
common
get
cards.
Yeah, to get up through level 10 on all of them, so I can get all the basic cards.
Awesome.
And I had some more booster packs, I think, from Twitch as well. I logged in and I had 3 more packs. So I was open those, and I think I bought a welcome pack. I had never spent money in Hearthstone before. And it was it was $5 and it was 10 packs of classic cards.
They got you. They're like, we'll give them free cards and they'll probably come in and buy something.
Kind of. I was like, fine, here's $5. Enjoy. Well, they also have a really good deal right now, which is tempting me. It's $20 for 30 packs. 10 packs from each of the last 3 expansions.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm like, that's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's smart from the. I mean, if you're going to keep playing, it seems worth it.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm playing Hearthstone again, and on the phone and on my computer, and It's a great game. The dungeon run is a lot of fun. Have never been able to beat the 5th dungeon boss yet. They get hard. They get really hard. So
I remember the bosses from like the earlier single player expansions that you purchased, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm getting my ass handed to me.
Yeah,
but it's still fun. Like it's just like. It's just because it's so quick to get into and to understand. It's just my favorite.
The dungeon runs are nice because it's not relying on cards that you own.
Right.
You just get to play, and it's like, well, I know that it's not because I don't own enough cards. It's just luck and what I've been able to add to my deck previously. And like sometimes it works out and you win, and sometimes it just crushes you. But that's okay.
Man, I'd hate to be like a collector who's trying to get all the Hearthstone cards.
I know some people that do it. I mean, you craft. A lot of them will just I know some friends that do it. Every expansion, they just do the $50 for how many packs? 60? Or however many packs they get. Open all those, dust all their extras and doubles, and then just start working towards crafting all the cards that they need. So, I don't think I don't know. They seem to have added gold cards now. Like
I got one of those.
Foily cards that have more effects. I'm like, of course. Now we're getting chase cards. Great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got one of those in my free Twitch pack.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Oh, by the way, do you log in and sub to some channel with your $5 from Twitch?
Do.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Anyone who's listening to Amazon Prime, you have $5 every month. They just don't use if you don't log in and subscribe to a channel. So it's just basically free money to give to your favorite Twitch station, which I've been giving to Kind of Funny Games because I also support them on Patreon just because I listen to their shit like every day. But next month is going to be Critical Role because oh my god, I like up in the middle of the night 3 hours or 2 hours with my daughter. Like I'm just listening to Critical Role. Like this new campaign is fucking awesome.
It's a great way to start. It's a great entry point. I mean, I guess the last campaign was, I think close to 100 episodes, maybe even more. So it's hard for people to get in. So this is a great starting point.
I'm so glad they restarted right when I was like interested in it because I don't want to go back like 3 years. You know, I want something where like I don't know. I feel like they know what they're doing now.
They do know what they're doing. I mean, if you go back and listen to the original, like it took them a while to figure out all the problems, but they got there, and it is high quality entertainment now.
It's amazing.
Ridiculous from Matt Mercer DMing.
Yeah,
like he knows his shit, and he knows how to run a game and keep people engaged. And then you have all the players who, I mean, they're all voice actors, and they're. This is weird. This is not a typical RPG. It's performance as well at the same time, like improv performance dictated by dice and their imagination.
That's my favorite part of it. Oh, it's so good. Laura Bailey is like the star of the show. She is so good. Well, I know this isn't the D&D podcast, but goddamn, that is so good.
Hey, I listen to actual plays all the time. So,
oh my god, I'm like balls deep in them now. They're so I had no idea.
And there's a reason why I do the RPG. Yeah, my Star Wars RPG every 2 weeks, which takes that idea of shared story and just the system that Star Wars uses pushes that shared storytelling to limits.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
If you want to be, it's not a system where the GM sits there and is like, this is the story I want to tell. You will go through my story. It's pretty much impossible to do that. I have beats that I want them to hit, and I have like overarching kind of like note cards of like key event that could happen in a lot of different ways. We'll see how I want to insert this, because every time someone rolls in the Star Wars RPG thing, it's basically like interpreting tea leaves.
Right.
And it's up to the player and I to just kind of, and the whole party to just kind of figure out what they want to have happen.
Gosh, it's like I mean, improv comedy is my favorite comedy. And like having, I just love storytelling. So having found improv storytelling is just like, it's like nirvana. And this, I've always been around people who played D&D, but I just never understood what it was,
And it's different for everybody, I'll be honest. Like, if you went to a store and did, like, Wizards of the Coast does D&D Adventure League, which is, like, their somewhat organized play for D&D. Like, you can go to a store that does D&D Adventure League, and you can go sit down and play in that game. The GMs are not allowed to reject people unless they're being rude or offensive, but it should always be open if people want to play. Those are much more rigid, controlled games. Because by nature, that's just what they are.
That's how D&D goes.
Yeah. Which focus a lot more on the tactical, like the mini-map, like moving around your squares and knowing your abilities and powers, and they're very combat heavy. Like, because that is a side of D&D, and a lot of people play that side of D&D. But then there's the other side of role-playing, which is, combat might happen, whatever. Let's just tell a story. Let's go.
That's, oh my god. Well, Adventure League, that's interesting. Like, if I wanted to get a taste. 'Cause I did a couple meetups for D&D, and they did not go well.
Run a game a long time ago. One session for you and our other friend Luke, maybe, and like, it was while we were in college. Back from when college. I'm pretty sure I ran one session where you were there. It was like a one-shot thing. It was you and Luke and Laura? I think Laura was there, and I think it was one other person. It was like, I'm pretty sure.
That seems
not the
possible, but I don't remember. But I want to get into it again. Like, if I did it before, I don't know. Like, I just am loving the Critical Role podcast. It's just so...
And I will be honest, Critical Role has brought a ton of people into D&D.
I guess so, because it seems to be the most popular actual play.
It is probably. It and...
Penny Arcade, I guess.
Penny Arcades are popular. Probably, I wouldn't say are the most popular anymore, but they were probably some of the first, like, actual plays to get a large audience.
Yeah.
But they do it a little bit... For a long time, you just go watch them play at cons. It wasn't that's how it started. It wasn't a weekly thing. They do weekly stuff now. But the two biggest ones I know are Critical Role and the Adventure Zone.
That's the McElroys? No, that's right. Is it?
The McElroy team.
Yeah, right.
Their family, like his brother and dad and everything.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Just absurd and hilarious.
I was listening to the one shot one that you sent me to.
One shot is enjoyable.
it's good to get in and get out. I don't like it as much as Critical Role at this point, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, one shot is more for, I would say, generally it's the get in, get out, but also for me, I came across it because I just wanted to listen to how other systems played.
Yeah, exactly. There's one right now, that the one that's going right now, the Swords of Strangers. I don't remember exactly what it is, but you roll for mood. You're not rolling for combat or anything. It's just tone of the story. So when you roll dice, like, okay, now it's somber. Okay, now it's joyous. And it's
I haven't listened to that one.
It's pretty interesting. So this other podcast I knew with my friend, we were doing like a fantasy improv kind of thing. We do 2 kind of straight stories where we start with one line and just kind of see where it takes us. And then for the third one of the night, we just throw in some random system. So I copied it. I was like, okay, if I roll a 1, you have to be drunk. If I roll a 2, you have to be whatever. And it was like, seriously, it was the best one we've ever done. It was so good.
You've basically done light role playing now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like this is merging into. And it's like, it just feels good. It's so like, we just love doing it. And it's just stupid and it's not that funny, but we love doing it. So
yeah,
it's great.
Well, back on topic, what have you been playing?
That was a fucking tangent.
It was.
So Steamroll Dig 2. Okay. I finally beat that game. I beat it at 7 hours and 20 minutes or so. Super awesome digging through the mines. Just Metroidvania light kind of thing where you get new abilities. Every single thing about that game was awesome until the final boss. The final boss sucked. And the reason why the final boss sucked is because you're like in this big mine, and it's like a character from earlier that turns into a bad guy or whatever. And they're in this huge like mech tank basically, and you're digging through dirt to go attack them and waiting for them to shoot a missile at you, and you basically deflect the missile back at them and then stun them and then attack them. But because of the way they're attacking you, you want to stay away from what they're shooting at you or whatever, so you have to move away from them. So the boss is never on screen. You're just running through dirt and digging through dirt and all this stuff to get away from the boss, and you don't really see the boss until the missile you need to deflect comes toward you and you hit it toward them and then run back and hit them. So it's just a boss fight where you rarely don't even see the boss. So I was disappointed in that. But other than that, the game is great. And, there are tons of games I played, like Quantum Break comes to mind, where I thought the game was excellent until the boss fight. Yeah. The boss fight was just garbage.
A lot of games have that problem.
Yeah, it's hard to end, right?
Yeah, it's hard to end, and it's hard to make a good boss at the end, too. Like, yeah. End bosses are just hard because you're like, well, this is supposed to be like a big spectacle thing and different than comes before, and it can be really hard to execute on that when it comes down to it.
I still think my favorite boss is probably Bowser from Mario 3, and then, was it Saren from Mass Effect 1?
Oh, yeah, Saren was really good. That was
I really liked that boss fight, yeah. For some reason, I keep coming back to Mass Effect 1 as being really fun. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking.
Mass Effect 1 is actually, yeah, there's parts that are bad. It's finicky. They weren't completely comfortable with the type of game they were making.
Yeah.
But it still stands out. I mean, it introduced a pretty amazing world and kicked off a pretty amazing story.
Right. And then the last game I played, I just played about half an hour today, a little game called Breath of the Wild.
Really?
You keep talking about it every week. I'm like, fuck it. I want to get back in. So I'm just playing on my save file, doing the DLC, trying to find. I'm at the point now where like they reveal like small squares of the map, and you have to like zoom in and figure out where that square is, and that's where a new shrine is at. Basically, and there are 12 new shrines you have to find that way. It's a pain in the ass. It really sucks.
Okay.
So I'm just traversing the map trying to find these things, and along the way I'm just stumbling across shrines that I've never seen before, recipes I've never seen before. Like I just went to this place today that was just this shrine that I had to pick up a laser and put it on a platform that moves back and forth and hits a switch, and the switch moves stairs, and then you slowly progress up the stairs to get to the end of the shrine, like in the very south middle of the map.
I have not done that shrine. South middle.
Yeah, basically like dead south, dead middle.
No, I don't think I've done that one. Okay.
It was pretty fun. I just spoiled the surprise, I guess, for you. But,
whatever.
Because I was sitting there, I was like, how the fuck does this work? How am I supposed to hit that switch and be over? Oh, I picked that thing up and got it. Okay.
I just did shrines today that, like, 2 new electricity-based shrines that I never had done before.
Mm.
Like, I had done in my last playthrough on the Wii U, like, one big shrine that you had to use, like, electricity orbs and to open gates. And I got into one shrine, I'm like, oh, I remember this shrine. It wasn't that shrine. And then I got into another shrine, and I was like, oh, it's another electricity shrine. Clearly there's more than one. I did not know this.
Yeah. There's just so much to that goddamn game. It's just like, I almost want to like start over, but I'm like, no, I want to get through the DLC and then just get the motorcycle so that I can go through and find all the other stuff on the map. So it's just great. It's so great. One of the best games I've ever played. So that's what I've been playing this week: SteamWorld, Breath of the Wild, and then now Chrono Trigger, which is going to be, if the rest is anything like it is now, it's going to be one of my favorite games. It's really good. So. Yeah,
I'll be curious. I'll probably 2 hours. We'll see where we're at.
Yeah. Roughly 2 hours. Kind of see where a natural stopping point is.
Yeah, I can't remember how long Future is. I think Future was longer than the first time you were in the past.
Okay.
Like, there's more meat to this Future part.
So. Yeah, it's a little dark for me. I'm not liking it so much, so I'm hoping to get through it. But I understand why I stopped playing, because something about it just doesn't intrigue me. But I'm going to push through. So that was episode 126 of Prof and Dev Play Games. One day late, unfortunately, because I was sick. But thanks, Anthony, for being here. Yeah. We are now apparently going to be on Spotify. So I guess you can check us out there. Yeah. There's a new push through on Libsyn to get on the Spotify. So I guess I did that work today on the website. So we'll see if it gets pushed through next week, I guess.
Okay.
And then Apple Play Music. No. Google Play Music too. So more places you can hear us. So if you are hearing our voices and you like what we're saying, please give us a review. If you're hearing our voices and don't like what we're saying, you don't have to leave a review at all.
Yeah, you don't have to listen anymore. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. Next week, we'll probably talk more about Critical Role. But until then, we'll be playing some video games.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Later.